Most parts of Lagos roads are beginning to witness a surge in unevacuated refuse dumps, a scene that was probably rampant in the pre-1999 era. Now, this is causing a lot of worries as complaints mount. Photos sent in from various parts of the state lead us to our next story. These are unevacuated dumps littering the streets of Lagos after the festivity period. This sight has become common as you move from one area to another, a possible indicator of an under-par waste management intervention program in the state. With the discontinuation of an existing waste management system in Lagos, which gave the state a global recognition for its cleanliness, the present administration promised to make it better by delivering a cleaner Lagos through its Cleaner Lagos initiative.
We know that about 70 to 80 people enter Lagos every hour, and only 10, about thereabout, leave, that go back to out of the state. So therefore, we're retaining about 60 to 70 every hour. If you multiply that over all these days, and we multiply with the fact that we make about 50 kilograms of waste per day, every human being. You multiply that, you now come and see the tonnage of refuse we are making in here. It's one of the highest in the world. We are making conservatively about 13,000 metric tons per day. That is huge. The essentially brought about the Cleaner Lagos initiative. Here, we have gotten a consortium of companies coming together to tackle this problem. And what we have done is to give them, this consortium of companies, the domestic sector of the waste sector. Because that's always been the problem. It's huge. That's where we generate so much refuse. So therefore, these people are going to come. They're going to bring, at the beginning, about 550 new compactors. The compactors that are going to be tracked. That means in a room here, I can sit down and know which part of Lagos has been visited or not in a day. You know, these compactors, they will be well managed, obviously. We will know even from that room of ours who has not been dumping right, who has been dumping irresponsibly.
What obviously is on ground right now is a far cry from a cleaner Lagos, with numerous breeding grounds for rodents and diseases lining the streets.
To start with, I think the Lagos State government, His Excellency, came up with a very good initiative, which is the Cleaner Lagos initiative. And of course, when something is clean and you want to make it cleaner, that is a very good initiative. However, there's an issue with the implementation of that initiative. And it's that problem, which starts from number one, there was no consultation with the existing players. Number two, there's this idea that a foreign company can come and sort out the problem of Lagos. And then the third thing is the fact that there's no proper transition between the old system and the new system. And that shouldn't be the case. It should not be revolutionary, it should be evolutionary. The word clean, to become cleaner, means you're going to improve on the existing structure. So existing structures that made Lagos clean is being destroyed, demolished, or disintegrated. And that's really the issue. And I'll give you an example. Before, LOMA as a regulatory body was functioning very well. They were managing the PSP operators, and they were managing the dump sites, and they were managing the infrastructure, playing their role. Now, right now, we have seen that their current role is being reduced to that of a regulator. There's nothing wrong with that. However, what about the existing function they were supposed to carry out, which is the area of the dump site? The dump site is in a mess. If it works today, it will not work tomorrow. The dump site was privatized too early. And the private companies that's taking over the dump site have tried their best. However, there is not enough investment in that infrastructure. So it takes about 2 to 3 days on average for a truck to dump their waste. And if you can't dump your waste that you have collected, it will affect your turnaround time. Number two, the government has made an announcement that the Cleaner Lagos initiative will start in September 2017. And of course, it did not start. What that resulted to is that members of the public stopped paying the PSP operators. And therefore, that affected, lack of revenue from the PSP operator affected their ability to service the client. The third thing that the government that decided what to do was to carry out what they call an intervention. An intervention is where they hire the same trucks of these PSP operators to go onto the high roads to pick up waste. So guess what happened, Chris? Majority of the people now realize that, hold on, if I dump my waste on the highway, it will be a free of charge. If I allow the PSP to collect it, I will have to pay the 1,000 or so. So guess what? At least that's caused an increase in the volume of waste going onto the highways.
As for the PSP operators, who once were saddled with the responsibility of managing waste in the state, there isn't much they can do without due recognition and support.
This is a peculiar country. This is a totally different ballgame. When you're coming here, what you need to do is ask people who are indigents here, how does it operate? How does it go on here? How have you been doing this job? For example, enumerations. You want to come into a street. It's already existent. We are not going into the bush. There's a street already built. There are houses already on the streets. There are numbers of rooms in the houses, numbers of flats in the houses, numbers of indigents living in there. If you had come to our store, we would have been able to supply the information readily. It would have aided and eased the way of operation, because this is one of the things that we did when we started this job. So without you coming to do that, you want to just come and bring trucks and operate, it doesn't work like that, you know. So all these hurdles that we have scaled, they are just coming back to start it all over.
While the present firm, contracted by Lagos State Government, continues in its course of handling this daunting task of getting Lagos out of this filthy loop, whatever intervention the state government is offering should be given more push before the state returns to the pre-1999 era, when Lagos State was said